All right. What's up? Happy Friday. I tried to make this video 3 times already, and the devil does not want me to get this out to you, but I'm gonna get it out anyway. Why do narcissists masturbate? It is not the reasons that you think that they masturbate. They don't masturbate just for pleasure. Everybody knows in the spirit realm, masturbation opens portals, okay? And what do they like? Demon worship, okay? They like shit like tantric sex magic, same difference, right? So when they masturbate to gain power and control over things. If you've caught your narc masturbating, or your ex-narc, whatever, masturbating in between sex sessions, like if you had to go to to pee or something during sex and you come back and they're like jerking off or pleasuring themselves, they're performing a ritual, okay? Masturbation is a tool of ritual for narcissists to abuse you and a lot of other people as well as themselves and to gain power. Look that shit up. Masturbation is a ritual. While we're talking about that, if you've ever, like, cause me, I'm celibate, I don't feel the need to masturbate. Like, I've never been a masturbator, right? But some people are, no shade to you, right? But if you're someone who wouldn't normally masturbate, or if you're someone who does masturbate, but like you kind of know when you're going to do that or whatever, if you've ever found yourself feeling a strong urge to masturbate when you aren't even fucking thinking about that shit, that is the soul tie between you and that narcissist, okay? They're trying to pull from your energy without being in the room. They want you to do the tantric sex magic for them. They want you to masturbate so they can open a portal and get right back into your psyche, either in the 5D, in your dreams, and all the other higher than 4, higher than the 3rd dimension, but all the way is like all those states of being where they can access you. And the way that they can do that is if you masturbate, that portal will be open and they can do like sleep paralysis demons, sex demons. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so let's move on from that. That's a whole nother rabbit hole, but I don't have a lot of time because this keeps trying to get cut off. Anyway, if it does, I'll make a second part because fuck the devil. He's a piece of shit. Anyway, so a lot of times they'll jerk off or whatever. I call it demon dust. I'm actually looking at my notes, so don't be offended if I'm looking down, but I just wrote a lot of sporadic notes like I always do. Alright, I call it demon dust. Narcissists like to leave behind demon dust. And one way they can do that is through masturbation. Story time for Friday. Here you go. So, before I went no contact with my narcissistic ex-husband, he came over or whatever, I made the huge mistake of leaving him in my new home to go get food, okay, with the kids. Of course, I didn't leave him with the kids because narcissists are horrible people. Why would you leave him with children? Anyway, so I left him in my home. But what he didn't know is that I had bought my son a GoPro, like a little camera, because he used to skateboard or whatever too. And my son and I, we put the GoPro under the couch just to see what he did back and forth in the apartment in case he did something. Of course, we found evidence. So after he left, we watched the GoPro. What did we see? We saw, unfortunately, but we saw a dark room, which is sitting on my couch. He had a computer up that belonged to him. There was immediately like OnlyFans or some shit on it, like porn of some sort. And you could hear him jerking off. Like as soon as the door closed, this nigga was jerking off on my fucking couch in my living room, okay? Now, that being said, fast forward, when I did the reverse discard to him and didn't fuck with him anymore, one thing he said that stuck out in my mind was, you were stupid to let me back in your house. You were dumb. Basically, you were dumb to let me in your house, okay? I didn't really know what he meant other than it being an insult, like, obviously, for face value, but, like, he really meant, I did shit in there to open portals to access you. And I didn't know what that meant until after the jerk off footage, the sound, and the visual of what he was looking at while jerking off on my couch. It didn't come into fruition to where it was visible to me until later. So fast forward, I got a black cat. This black cat I named Tarot, like after tarot cards or whatever. And this cat was like really cool. He never like hissed or anything like that. It was really cool. It's chill, right? But for some reason, when he came into the living room, under the same couch that this dude jerked off on, one night he was like, Like he could see something under the couch. Like there was an entity under the couch that was not human that this cat saw and did not like. Okay, this cat was like, ugh, you know what I mean, making those weird noises, and I'm like, what do you see? I believe you that you see something, but why are you seeing it? He was seeing it because he dropped what I like to call demon dust. Narcissists love dropping demon dust, demon dandruff. Like if they were like, oh, just left a little bit of dandruff all over your shit. Just by simply existing in your space, they are dropping demon dust, demon dandruff in your space, okay? And that shit sits there. And even if you pray, because you can say, well, you're always talking about the Bible and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I am. And I plead the blood of Jesus Christ over everything every day. Does it mean that things don't happen as a result of me inviting spiritual warfare into my home? Because I invited him into my home, being that we had a child in common. We have a child in common. But before I discarded him, I tried to do that co-parenting shit, which you, by the way, cannot do with a narcissist, okay? Anyway, so, yes, he dropped demon demon dandruff, demon dust in my home by way of masturbation. And the spot that he masturbated in held residual energy that the cat could see, okay? One thing that happened when I used to be friends, or what I thought was friends, with this clairvoyant psychic chick, right? One thing she said that stuck out to me was, she said, you know, you've got like an entity or something in your living room. I'm like, what are you talking about? Bitch, I believe in Jesus. Like, what are you talking about? She was like, there's like a energy like in your living room. And it doesn't want to go away. And I'm like, what the fuck is it? All I do in my living room is eat with my kids and chill, right? But I forgot that he had jerked off. That this demonically filled, narcissistic, parasitic person jerked off on that couch in my what? Living room. And that energy, that residual energy, that narcissistic what? Dandruff. Flake, was in there. The same shit the cat saw, right? That cat's no longer here. I rehomed him with a family that really wanted him. And I got another cat. And that cat refused to go in the what? Living room. And there we go. That residual energy. Narcissists like to masturbate because it is a portal opener. And again, I cannot stress this enough. If you feel this random urge to masturbate, if you feel like doing it randomly, I'm talking about nothing egging you on, that is that energy trying to pull on a soul tie that you have failed to sever. And I'm not calling you a failure at severing it. It's hard to do. When you have had sex with someone, it's very hard to disconnect. You have to have constant prayer and work on that for it to go away, if it ever does, okay? But yes, if you have been feeling, if you've ever felt this weird ass, I need to fucking masturbate, right? It ain't even you, dude. It's residual energy, that narcissistic, demonic, demon dandruff, demon dust that is in your space. If a narc has come into that space, trust me, they've masturbated in it. Whether you were at work or whatever, but they did. All narcissists love masturbation. And it's never for what you think. It's always to open a portal that is very hard to close. Alright? I love you guys, and I know that this makes sense to somebody. Take a bunch of spirit baths, man. Pray over yourself. When you get that urge to masturbate out of the blue, don't do it. Stay asleep or whatever it is you're doing. but don't get up and do it. It is that energy trying to open a demonic portal in your home so that it can view you and connect with you in that chakra, right? In order to stay connected, you know? Anyway, I love y'all and happy Friday. And if this makes sense to you, talk about it. Let's have a conversation. I would love to know if anyone else has gone through this. All right.